Probably nothing but a little bit of time. Hey, we're live. Look at that.
What does that feel like?
Being live?
Yeah.
Probably like being alive.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
Does going live make you feel alive?
Actually, yes, because I like to be the center of attention. How about you?
I feel like it's just something to do, and I'm not afraid of it. I kind of like it.
Yeah.
You know, I do like the desk set up this way.
Oh yeah, yeah, me too.
What
do you guys think? We've got a different camera. It's a little bit wider, so now I don't have to sit at the end of the desk.
She doesn't have to sit at the child's table.
That's right.
You know.
Yeah, we were discussing that with the vaccines, my family and I. So my dad says that there should be a separate table for people who have had the vaccine and people who have not had the vaccine at family gatherings.
Oh, look.
And we think that's hilarious. It's like the child's table.
Has anybody ever sat at a child's table for Christmas dinner?
Well, not for Christmas dinner. We didn't have Christmas.
Oh, this view is better. This totally settles it. What do you think?
I like it.
Does it need to be any
You should
tighter?
ask the people who are watching if they like it.
There you go. Okay, guys, do you like this angle? I think the wider is better.
Yeah, I think they might find this boring.
Going through this?
Yeah, as we tune up the camera.
So, welcome to the show, guys. Today we're talking about
why cars are so expensive right now. Have you noticed that cars are expensive? Because you're right, they are expensive.
Yeah, cars have gotten crazy expensive. Bonnie read an article yesterday. I'm going to type this into the chat.
Okay. I like this magazine. This is the Automotive News. I'm trying to find the front of it so that you can see it. It comes this way. And I read it every week. And so they've been talking a lot about two things. One is, why are cars so expensive? And the other one is, will everything become electric vehicles?
Yeah.
And so today, because we've been talking about electric vehicles almost constantly, we thought we might discuss what is going on that's making cars so expensive. And I would love to hear what people think is causing cars to be so expensive. But I will tell you what the official line is.
What's the official line, Bonnie?
The official line, and it is so official that there is actually a presidential commission that President Biden put together to discuss this. Apparently, after a lot of begging from automakers, because there are two major problems and one coming down the line. And those two major problems are, you want to guess?
Semiconductors?
Correct. There's a terrible worldwide shortage of semiconductor chips. Now, I don't know if this is also affecting the computer industry.
It's affecting the video game industry because of the GPUs. It's called GPU, graphics processor.
Ah.
So, yeah.
I didn't know about that.
It's like the most important thing in the computer if you're playing video games like me.
Well, yeah, that's true. So if you're having trouble getting your video game computers, this is also why, because of this weird shortage. Do you know why the shortage is? I don't know why. It doesn't say here.
Really?
Yeah. No, I mean, my best guess is that the problem was the pandemic, and that because of the supply lines being interrupted and the manufacturer, like they were manufacturing them and they were probably just enough and maybe a few more to be able to make the cars and the computer games. But now there aren't. Now we're at the last minute here.
Well, let me check. You go ahead and talk and I'll Google it. Why the semiconductor shortage?
Yeah, I'm going to try to figure out why that is. So the other thing that's going on is that, what are we talking about here? Oh, the batteries. Batteries, particularly for electric vehicles, are also a big problem because the government is trying to push these electric vehicles. So manufacturers are going to have to make more of them in order to stay within the rules. But there's not going to be enough lithium for the batteries. And we've talked about that before, how they need a lot of lithium to make these batteries. There aren't that many lithium mines because it's expensive to build a lithium mine and it takes a long time. And anybody who has the money and thinks that they might want to do it might also say to themselves, by the time I actually get this lithium mine going, they might have some other kind of technology. And so it's a high risk. So what's actually happening is that China is developing all the lithium mines, and that is not necessarily going to make things cheap for us. So
we can just add it to our tab?
I don't know. You have to ask China. So the president has actually gone so far as to convene a commission to talk about what we're going to do about all these problems.
It says here the current chip shortage is the result of a perfect storm of factors.
Perfect storm.
Including pandemic-related work stoppages, increased demand and broken transportation logistics.
What a mess.
It is a big mess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no doubt they'll figure out what to do about this. That I have noticed something about, I'm old enough now that I've been reading the newspaper for a long time. And there's a lot of predictions about things that are going to happen and everything's going to fall apart and we're all going to be eaten by wild animals. Most of the time, it doesn't happen. And it probably doesn't happen.
Has it ever happened where it all collapsed and people were eaten by wild animals?
Only the pandemic.
In 1918.
No, this pandemic that we're having right now.
This is as close as it come to us living with Sasquatch.
And well, I don't know about you, but many of my friends have been eaten by wild animals. It was terrible.
You had friends eaten by wild animals?
Oh yeah, just in the street.
Really?
No, I'm totally making that up.
Okay.
But it
Okay,
was
so you're
pretty
saying
good
the fear is out there that people are going to be living in the streets and it's all coming, the whole economy is going to collapse.
Yes. So I'm sure you are aware, then I'm sure our listeners are aware too, that there's been many predictions over time that everything would collapse if we, something will happen and everything will collapse, whether another country will come in or will be invaded or there won't be any electricity or the gasoline will run out or, what have you. And it generally doesn't happen because we already figured out that it could happen and then we do something about it. So, this is a testament to the amazing capacity of the human mind and human activity that we're able to keep cutting off these terrible things that could happen. And this is one example of, I suppose, how we do that is that the president convenes a commission of very smart people and they figure out how we're going to deal with the semiconductor shortage.
Okay. So in the midst of all this pandemic stuff and people thinking it's going to collapse, tell them what is going on with the profit margins of the auto industry the entire year of 2020.
You really want me to tell them?
Yeah.
All right. You guys want to know? Do you want to know how much profit has gone up for the average dealer? 48%. 48%, because there's fewer cars and more people wanted cars. So the prices of cars went up and dealers made a lot more money.
So you're telling me that during the pandemic, when everybody's staying home, the demand for the vehicles went up?
Yes, because people didn't want to take public transportation.
We don't have that here.
No, we don't have that here. This is a national figure, but that's what it is, 48%. And they said it was 13% after the 2008, the Great Recession.
Really?
13%, 48%. So
it bounced back at 13%.
Yeah, it bounced back.
But during the pandemic, it went up 48%.
Yes, during the pandemic, it went up 48% over 2019 or 2020. It was really.
It would have to be 2020 because the pandemic started in March of 2020.
Oh, right. Yeah. So it must have been over 2019. So yeah, it was very significant. That's
48% higher than 2019.
All of those factors are coming together.
Almost 50% more profit from, wow.
Yes.
I find that really difficult to even fathom,
It is a bit difficult to fathom. I agree. But don't expect to see car dealers have lots and lots and lots of cars again, because what they've discovered is that they make more money if they have fewer vehicles.
Fewer employees too.
Fewer employees as well.
They cut costs in a lot of different ways, which also increases your profit margin.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's all just the demand, right? The article wasn't long enough to probably really dig that deep, but I think there's got to be more than one factor.
I'm sure there is. I have to find the article again. I wasn't expecting to talk about it.
Sorry.
It's on page 1. Oh, that's all right. I don't mind being surprised. Here it is. Let's see. The average US dealership recorded net pre-tax profit of $2.1 million last year, 48% leap from 2019. The 2020 figure also blew by the previous record of 1.5 million recorded in 2015.
What is 1.5 million? Amount of cars sold, or?
No, this is the average net pre-tax profit for U.S. dealerships.
1.5 million.
1.5 million in 2015. It was 2.1 million last year.
Okay. So, good grief.
So it says the unique market conditions that cause scarcity for both new and used vehicles. And that's what it says.
And you think the demand went up because people did not want to ride on public transportation?
Yes, that is what I had read. That's the analysis.
Well, I'd like to know how you guys feel. Were you taking public transportation and then you decided to buy a car, wherever you live at in the world?
If you're in Colorado Springs, probably not.
Yeah, we have the bus that comes by here, but I've never been on it.
Actually, I'm not sure I've ever been on a Colorado Springs bus either. And I used to take the bus pretty frequently in Cleveland.
So maybe we should do that. Go live on the bus.
Maybe we should. Do you guys want to see that? Would that be funny?
They would probably pay to see that.
I'll bet they would. Maybe we should do it.
What else do you want to talk about today? I mean, we have committed to go live and discuss this car business and help us understand it as well as talking to other people about it. But
Well, I'm still obsessed with these PHEVs.
the
So-
plug-in hybrid.
Plug-in hybrid. And do you think that, and I'd like to hear what viewers think too, do you think that the plug-in hybrids will be more popular in the short term, or do you think people will go straight to EVs?
Well, the plug-in hybrid is a vehicle that runs on electricity, but if it runs out of electricity, it has a hybrid motor, so it has two motors.
Right, so it's got a gasoline motor. So you can take it long distances and just use gasoline if you ran out of electrical power.
I don't know why nobody's talking about these over this electric vehicles. Like GM just said they're going to have 30 electric vehicle offerings by 2025, but we don't know if that's a plug-in hybrid at this point.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think those are just straight electric vehicles. And I think there's a couple of reasons. One is because the government, that's what the government's talking about. Like when the new rules with the federal government, they're pushing electric vehicles. And they're just really exciting right now. Like everybody loves Tesla. And it's,
They're fun, they're exciting, they're different.
Yeah.
People like them.
They are. But the problem remains that there's still no place to charge them.
We were just in South Carolina with my wife's cousin. And so, my cousin. And so we're out there and she had a Tesla and we were using that vehicle and we stopped and charged at what's called a turbocharger. So they have turbochargers and they all show up in her app on her big screen and she can say, find the nearest turbocharger. And we plugged in for maybe 15 minutes and we were gone. And she lived in North Carolina. So she drove from North Carolina to South Carolina.
Right.
In the Tesla.
Okay. So maybe there are charging stations that
they're coming
I'm not
up.
aware
These
of that.
Turbochargers.
What did you do in the 15 minutes?
We just sat there in the car.
Oh, okay.
AC on and phone on the wireless charger and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was interesting, but other cars were backing in. There was like 3 or 4 of these things.
Yeah.
And she didn't need to fill the car up. She just needed to, because it told her, if we're going to go here, here's how much charge you can expect to have left when you get back.
Okay. Oh,
so you
that's
plugged
nice
in your
of
route
you
and it's
either,
like, we're going here. It's like, okay, well, you're going to have like 27%.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, well, that's outside my comfort zone. Let me go ahead and charge a little bit. So 15 minutes, it said you'll have 37% left. And she was fine with that.
Yeah.
And so before she drove back to North Carolina, I'm assuming she plugged in, charged for a while, and then took off.
All right. That makes sense.
Because these cars, people may be wondering how they work as far as how far you're going to make it. And it basically will tell you like where you're going.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you're going there, you're not going to make it.
Right. Yeah. Well, you want to know that before you leave. That's pretty good. That, what the least expensive electric vehicle is right now?
I think you told me. Should I tell?
Yeah.
It's the Mini Cooper, right?
That's right. It's the Mini Cooper. There's an electric Mini Cooper. MSRP is right around $30,000 and it's, cute as a button.
Somebody said, yes, Ronnie, please go live on the bus. But that user has not accepted the Facebook thing so that we can see who it is. So, hey, at this point, it's just Bonnie getting on the bus, man. It would be funny. Like, this is going to be a thing now.
Yeah.
Where are we going to go on the bus, Bonnie? I see it out there by the Wendy's, but I don't know where it goes from here.
We can just get on and see where it goes.
That could be all day long.
Yeah. It could be all day long. And then we'd have to wait for another one to come back.
To get Judy to follow us.
And then in a car.
So we could just ding, let me off of this thing.
Which just goes to show how dependent we are on cars here in Colorado Springs.
Yeah, this town we're dependent on cars. So look, electric cars. The argument is, what are you guys looking for? Plug-in hybrids or electric?
Right.
I'm interested in the plug-in hybrid myself.
Me too, actually. I like hybrids. So why are you interested in plug-in hybrid?
Because I don't want to be limited and have to go fill it up with charge every day. Like if I want to use fuel, I'll use fuel.
Right.
If I don't want to, then I'll just turn on the motor and I'm good to go. If I've got enough charge, I can go wherever I need. But I'd like the option of being able to go 1,000. Well, 400 miles, you know.
Yeah, I think my hybrid goes 400 miles on a tank of gas.
Yeah, it's funny though, because most cars only get like 350, 400
Yeah, well, that is
before you
true.
have to fill them up.
Yeah. Well, that is true. I mean, I guess we never talk about that compared to the range of a battery.
Yeah,
What's
I mean,
the range of a tank of gas?
it's not like cars are getting 800 miles on a tank.
No, it's true.
You know, they're getting 350 to 400. Like every time we get a new car in, look at the distance to empty,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll show you. I mean, it's usually every time I look, I've never seen anything over like 400.
No,
you know?
yeah, me either. That's but that is a nice feature actually that they didn't have on old cars. If you're driving an older car, you wouldn't know this, and I didn't know until I bought this recent hybrid. But it's most of the vehicles, including the gasoline vehicles, will tell you how much range you have before you need to go to the gas station.
Well, yeah, they have that on the Teslas as well. So
Yeah,
look
they
at these
do.
funny things. They want us to get on the bus. Here's Kirk. Kirk Harrison says you could head downtown and do your show from the bus station. He would watch that. But the question we have, Kirk, is would you pay to watch that?
But only bus fare. It would only be like $1.25.
I don't know, but that's for her, man. I'm like, if I'm
Oh,
going
I
to sit
know,
at the bus
right.
station and go live,
It would be exciting. There's all kinds of interesting people at the bus station.
he might need a
downtown.
payment plan for that.
Maybe. Maybe so. I don't actually know what it even costs to ride a bus anymore because I've never done
Is it a
there.
quarter? I mean, it used to be like a
No,
quarter or
no,
52
that
cents.
was when we were children. That even by the time I left Cleveland, it was $1.25.
Do you remember those things? You drop it in and they go.
Yeah. You can still do that. You can still put the change in, at least in 2010.
But he would
Still-
count the change and spit it out, you know, and
Yeah, it did.
that was really
Yeah.
interesting.
It was. It was pretty good technology, all
Mm-hmm.
things considered. But by the time I left Cleveland, you would buy a 10 ride pass.
A pass?
And it was just electronic. You would just put it in, and then it would spit it back out at you.
You would think they'd have a phone app now for the
They
bus.
probably do. They probably do a phone app.
Well, we don't sell buses, guys, but
No, we don't.
I think that if we had enough fanfare, we could get Bonnie to ride the bus to the bus station, and
But not you.
I don't know.
It's not that bad. I mean,
I don't think
get
it's
on
a
the
bad
bus.
ride. I just don't. It's a lot of time.
It's a lot of time. Yeah, that's true. But you could do your homework on the bus, or
I could
whatever.
do homework on the bus,
Yeah,
guys.
and I know you have homework because we're
Oh,
doing
yeah.
a book club, and I assign homework every week.
I have a lot of work to do, guys. So
Mm.
riding the bus today is probably not good.
All right. No bus. We'll just have to stick with the plug-in hybrid.
Plug-in hybrid for me.
Yeah.
I think before fully electric car.
Yeah, me too, because I'm thinking that it might tell me where the charging stations are, but I don't want to go out of my way. Like I already have a thing about not going to the gas station. I don't want to stop and get gas, and I certainly don't want to go out of my way to charge a car. So we've
Yeah.
got somebody who says fully electric here,
Yeah, somebody said fully electric, but they didn't tell us who it was. So
or why? That
Fully
if you're still
electric,
listening,
baby.
tell us why. Like what
tell
is
us
it that,
why fully electric.
what makes you prefer the fully electric over the PHEV? We'll
Yeah.
just wait.
Why is that? Why do you think someone would want fully electric?
Well, because they might be wanting to just get to the technology already and be done with the gasoline. I mean, there's a lot of fuss about gasoline. And hi, Danny.
Hey, Danny, how you doing?
Good.
The question right now, Danny, is are you looking more forward to a plug-in hybrid, which is 2 motors? It's got gas and electric, and those cars are available now.
Yeah.
Or a fully electric car.
Yeah, that's the question. Do you think that plug-in hybrids will be more popular in the short term, or that electric vehicles, people will just jump right to electric vehicles? And so we both agree that we would prefer a plug-in hybrid. But actually, I mean, I wonder if there's so much chatter about electric vehicles, if they will be more popular.
Well, why would they make the Venza then? Today, you're going to test drive a Venza with a client.
That's right. And they only make it in a hybrid. now.
They
It's
only
not
make it
plug-in
in a hybrid.
just a
It's not even a plug-in. But if they know they're going to be making fully electric only, why would they even make these things? You know?
Well, I mean, that is actually an interesting question because it's only Toyota that is really focused on the hybrids.
Yeah, that's true. I haven't seen Honda switch that heavy.
That Toyota has gone directly. They've done 2 things that most of other manufacturers haven't done. One is that most manufacturers aren't making small cars anymore. They just stopped making. They're not popular enough. They don't make any money on them. They stopped making them. So Toyota has taken up that market share. And also the plug-in hybrids. Toyota has 2. It's coming out with a 3rd. We don't know what it'll be yet. But they're focused on those plug-in hybrids. They do make EVs, but they make these 3 plug-in hybrids.
Danny says he wants fully electric if they can get a full charge in 10 minutes. That is faster than charging your cell phone, Danny. So
But you can charge it while you sleep. just
maybe
like
if they
that.
get like a nuclear charger,
They might get one, or maybe there'll be solar chargers. You can just run while you're driving. I don't know.
that's going to be fast charging
Hmm.
for sure.
So
This
here's
one-
our answer.
Oh, here's the
Yeah.
answer. The unknown person says, I prefer full electric because I want to have at least one vehicle in my fleet that is completely off fossil fuels with the supercharging network while you go. That's what it is, supercharging turbochargers.
Yeah.
While you go anywhere in the United States, EV without a drop of gas. Like, that's the thing. That's what Nikki's doing. She drove from North
Mhm.
Carolina in her Tesla, and she knew where all the superchargers were
Right.
so that she can charge whenever she felt like it. And it was not a big deal. So I think whoever this is, that is a great way of looking at it. If that's your, my personal preference is to have a plug-in hybrid.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just old, and I think that, you know,
we just don't change that fast.
I'm gonna have to go through that before I get to the electric.
Right.
You know.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. I think that's my.
Well, here's
thinking as
another
well.
thing. Look at Danny says quick change batteries.
Ooh.
Maybe you could
that's a
drop
good
the
point.
battery off and pick up another one.
That I wonder about.
That would be cool.
Do you know how big the battery is in a?
I think it's
In an
bigger than a
electric
cell
car?
phone, but you know,
I'm sure it's bigger than a cell phone. Yes.
But at
I mean,
one
like, is
point
it
in
the
time,
whole car.
they
But
said that computers would be big as buildings.
they were. They
Well,
were really huge.
They said that was the future of them. They were just
Wow.
going to continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger and exponentially bigger. And now they're like a semiconductor.
Yeah, that's true. Now you can carry it around your.
So
pocket.
that's actually a good point, Danny. I don't think that we can rule that out. You know,
I want a robot to come to my house and change the battery while I'm asleep, and me not have to think about it at all.
I mean, there's crazy stuff going on with this new age, guys. I mean, I was reading an article yesterday about Michael Jordan's golf course, and he has drones deliver drinks to people while you're playing golf,
I like
food
it.
and drinks.
Yeah.
But every time you take a sip, you can see the square cubes of ice have his emblem on it, the Jumpman emblem.
Wow.
So even if, like, let's say you played against him
Yeah.
and you're taking a sip, and then you're like, oh, great, you know, I got to drink MJ's ice here.
Right. Yeah. They can be reminded at every sip.
That's just petty. Michael Jordan's that petty.
Let's see.
Danny also says, I think that is what NIO is about. What is NIO?
Yeah, I don't know. Is it a robot? Because I like robots.
NIO, Danny, what is that? And yes, this is also another reason why this user wants to go full electric. We played with that Tesla, and it had a lot of power.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was really quick from the dead stop. The torque in that motor was crazy good.
Yeah, I know a lot of people. The people who have Teslas really like the Teslas.
I think next week we'll set this up in advance and do a preview and a countdown, and so people will know we're going live, because
Okay.
we just pop on here like, you know,
Yeah, we're pretty random like that.
news at 11, guys. Boom.
News whenever we feel like it.
Yeah,
That's what we've got here.
we'll drop a little teaser in for next week. But this electric thing's not going away. Today you're going to drive that Venza. I think that's going to be interesting.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Venza's a nice little car.
NIO is a Chinese car company, is what Danny says.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they're working on battery technology and all kinds of stuff in China.
Yeah.
Making
I
new
like the
cars.
changeable. I think the best answer was changeable battery. You get there, you swap
Yeah.
one out, swap one in. You can just keep going.
Yeah.
That would be good.
Yeah, you could. That would be really nice. That would be really quick.
But in the meantime, I'm voting for, plug-in hybrid.
Me too. We like the plug-in hybrids. Go Toyota.
Yeah, Toyota's leading the charge right now.
Yeah, they're leading.
Pardon the pun.
So, right. Well done. Well done. There was another interesting article about how the laws in Europe, they're written so that they will basically put cars out of the reach of middle income people.
Oh my goodness.
They're not.
What are they going to do? What are the people that can't get them going to do?
I guess they're going to take public transportation.
Public
But
transportation.
I don't know. It wasn't clear from the article whether it was intentional or whether this was just one of the unintended consequences of vast sweeping rules. But they had made it so that there was like some sort of break for manufacturers to make larger electric vehicles because they make more money on them. The manufacturers are happy to do that, but then it disincentivized them to make smaller electric vehicles that would be affordable to middle income people. So they may just end up importing them all from China. I mean, that could also happen. That's what reminded it of me. It's the discussion about the Chinese company.
Man, I didn't even know that type of stuff was happening.
Oh yeah, it's a big, complicated system, and we're trying to make this big change in the, with these vast sweeping rules, and the companies are really big, and the supply chains are big, and there's a lot of unintended consequences going on.
So for the most part, we're just guessing, guys. But this is as good as it gets with us as far as our education on this.
Mhm.
That what we can see coming, and right now we think it's going to be hybrids, and then plug-in hybrids, and then electric. But what their commercials are saying is all electric. So we're gonna have to wait and see.
Yeah, well, if all the cars are, all the new vehicles are electrics by 2025 or 2030, that will push people in the direction of electrics.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I mean, anything could happen between now and then. I mean, nobody anticipated the pandemic. Anything could happen.
That's the one thing nobody could get prepared for.
No.
I think we'll do better next time. Like if someone sneezes, you'd be like, "Oh boy, execute Plan B."
It's never going to be the same.
I know. We'll all be like, "Oh, it's
Yeah.
pandemic time."
We're all going to have that antibacterial film on all of our surfaces.
Yeah, it's going to take a while. So that's the thing. It's going to take a while to recover mentally
Yeah.
from the pandemic. I think we're approaching the end of the line here. I'm just going to think positive.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
It's
Let's just hold that in our heads. So
it's going to come to a close, but I think it's going to still take more time. You were there talking about yesterday, like Texas opened up everything.
Yep.
But what if I walk in there and I have a mask on?
In Texas?
Like go. I want to go eat, and I'm like, why does nobody have a mask on? Well, because they didn't make it mandatory.
No, right. Yeah.
That
You can still wear a mask. You're allowed to wear a
But
mask.
so
It's
they
not-
left it up to the
to the
people that own
individuals.
the stuff. Like they're like, well, we want ours on or off. It's still going to take a while for us to recover from this pandemic.
It's going to be a while. Yeah. it's true.
Different arguments are going to sprout up now, is what I'm saying.
Yes. Yeah, that is true. I'm sure. I'm sure you are right. But maybe we don't want to go in that direction. Maybe we want to stick with cars.
I think we should probably stick with cars because it's like a bottomless pit with the
It is a
pandemic conversation.
bottomless pit. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true. Other than the unintended consequences of shutting everything down, making cars more expensive.
Yeah.
That's
Well, I hope you guys have fun today. We definitely are going to do this again next week. And this next week, we're going to put out a premiere time. So it'll come up and you'll have a time. We expect to see you there, Danny. And what's up, Sam? Sam is one of our brokers in training
Sam.
from New York. So
I know Sam.
is it New Jersey? It's probably New York.
Somewhere on the East Coast. We've forgotten the names of the states over there.
Yeah. So thanks for tuning in, guys. We appreciate the feedback because we're trying to figure this out and keep you informed with what we think. And if you got stuff you want to add to it, please drop it in the comments. Thank you so much. Have a great day. No, we just sit still so they can't tell.
Wouldn't you like to press a button or something? That's